Hey everyone, and welcome to MilSpouses Moving Houses.
Oh, I love that title.
This is a brand new series brought to you by MustWants,
It is.
where we take a deep dive into all things PCS.
Oh, PCSing.
And who better to kick things off with than the folks at MustWants themselves?
Right.
Today we're unpacking their blog post, PCS Planning Made Easy, your essential guide to a smoother military move.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So much good stuff in here.
You know what's so interesting about this blog post is that it's not just a generic moving checklist. It's really tailored to the unique challenges and anxieties we face as military spouses.
Totally. And speaking of understanding those challenges,
Right.
did you know that MustWants was actually founded by a military couple,
Oh, wow.
Scott and Jessica, who moved a whopping 19 times during their time in service.
19 times?
19.
Wow, they must have a treasure trove of tips and tricks.
They must,
Yeah.
that's like moving almost every other year.
Right.
So let's dig into some of those golden nuggets.
Okay.
The blog starts off strong, emphasizing the importance of pre-move preparations.
Okay.
And the first thing they tackle is surprise paperwork.
Ah, yes, the dreaded paperwork. But seriously, getting your documents organized early on can save you so much stress later. Think passports, medical records, kids' school files, all that fun stuff.
Ugh, I know. It's like,
The blog even suggests using a portable file organizer to keep everything together.
which is genius.
That's a good idea.
Because let's be honest,
Mm-hmm.
who hasn't frantically searched for their child's immunization records the night before a move?
Oh, yeah,
Been there, done that.
for sure.
But beyond just keeping things organized, the blog also talks about researching your new duty station.
Oh, yeah.
And MustWants has some pretty cool tools to help with that, like these detailed data maps.
Those data maps are amazing.
They are.
They break down all sorts of information like housing costs, school ratings, even commute times. You can really get a feel for a neighborhood before you even set foot there.
Right, you don't have to be
Yeah.
there to know what it's like.
And speaking of getting your bearings, the blog post also highlights the importance of connecting with vetted real estate agents who specialize in military moves.
Okay, so tell me more about these vetted agents. What makes them different from, say, just searching for an agent online?
That's a great question. MustWants actually has a rigorous vetting process for their agents, making sure they understand the ins and outs of military moves like BAH rates, VA loans, and all the specific paperwork involved.
Okay.
It's like having a guide who speaks your language.
That's such a relief because finding a reliable agent you can trust is huge, especially when you're moving to a new place sight unseen.
Absolutely.
But let's be real, even with the best planning, moving day itself can be chaotic.
Absolutely. The blog actually suggests having a backup plan for moving day, especially for any valuable or sensitive items you might want to transport yourself, just in case things go sideways with the movers.
Which, let's face it, happens more often than we'd like. Speaking of backup plans, the blog also mentions that MustWants agents can provide insights on moving budgets and what expenses are reimbursable.
Yes.
That can save you a ton of money and headaches down the road.
Oh, for sure. Military moves come with all sorts of hidden costs, and having an agent who can guide you through that financial maze is invaluable.
Okay, so we've covered the pre-move paperwork, the research, and even some moving day survival tips. What's next on the PCS planning checklist?
Well, once I've tackled the logistics, the blog dives into something that's often overlooked, decluttering and purging before you even start packing.
This is where it gets real.
Yes.
I'm a firm believer that a PCS is the perfect excuse to finally get rid of all that stuff you've been holding on to, just in case.
Exactly. It's like hitting the reset button on your home and your mental clutter.
Mm-hmm.
The blog even suggests hosting a yard sale or donating unwanted items.
Love that. And speaking of simplifying things, they also have this brilliant tip about creating a PCS Essentials box.
Oh yes, the PCS Essentials box, it's basically your survival kit for the first few days in your new home. Think toiletries, phone chargers, basic kitchen supplies, a few days worth of clothes, anything you'll need before you can fully unpack.
Yes.
Those items you don't want to be digging through boxes for when you're exhausted from the move?
That is such a game changer.
Yeah.
Especially with kids, you don't want to be scrambling for pajamas and toothbrushes at bedtime on your first night in a new place.
Speaking of kids, the blog dedicates a whole section to children and school transitions, which, as we all know, can be one of the most stressful parts of a PCS.
Oh, absolutely. It's a whole other layer of logistics and emotions to navigate. What kind of advice do they offer?
Well, they stress the importance of gathering school records early and researching school options at your new duty station. They also encourage open communication with your kids, involving them in the move as much as possible, and even connecting with other military families online beforehand so they can start making friends before you even arrive.
I love that they address the emotional side of things because sometimes as parents we get so caught up in the practicalities of a move that we forget about the impact it has on our little ones.
Right, and it's not just about the kids. Military spouses often experience their own set of anxieties and challenges during a PCS. Leaving behind friends, jobs, and support systems is never easy.
Definitely. It's like starting over in a new world every few years.
It is.
But that's also part of what makes military life so unique, right?
Absolutely. It's a roller coaster of emotions, but it's also an incredible opportunity for growth and adventure. And resources like the MustWants blog can make that roller coaster a little bit smoother.
So true. And speaking of smoother transitions, the blog also offers some great advice on unpacking and settling into your new home. They recommend a methodical approach, unpacking room by room with clearly labeled boxes.
Yes, labeling is key. It's like a roadmap to your belongings when everything feels like a jumbled mess. And once you've got the unpacking under control, the blog suggests using MustWants, social networks, and visual maps to explore your new community.
Those maps are so helpful for finding everything from parks and playgrounds to local restaurants and community events. It's like having a personalized guide to your new town.
And they also have these great social networks where you can connect with other military spouses in your area, find local recommendations, and even get advice on navigating your new duty station. It's like having a built-in support system right at your fingertips.
I love that sense of community. It's so reassuring to know that you're not alone in this crazy PCS journey.
Exactly, and that's what MustWants is all about, empowering military families with the tools and resources they need to thrive no matter where they're stationed.
Hmm.
It's so easy to get bogged down, in the logistics of a PCS move.
I know.
But this blog post does a great job of reminding us that it's also about embracing the adventure.
I was just thinking that.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like they say home is where the military sends us.
Exactly. And with each new duty station comes a chance to explore a new place, experience a new culture, and make new memories with your family.
And maybe even find some hidden gems.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't have discovered otherwise.
Totally.
Absolutely. Remember Scott and Jessica, the MustWants founders? They moved 19 times.
I know, it's incredible.
They turned those moves into opportunities for growth and discovery.
Which makes me think about another point the blog touches on,
Okay,
the emotional side of PCSing.
right.
It's not always easy to say goodbye to friends and familiar places.
It's true, leaving behind your support system can be tough, especially for spouses who may also be leaving behind careers or educational opportunities.
That's where those must-want social networks can be so valuable.
I agree, connecting with other military spouses who understand what you're going through can make all the difference.
It's like having a virtual shoulder to cry on,
Yes.
or a cheerleader in your corner reminding you that you're not alone.
And it's not just about emotional support. Those networks can also be a wealth of information about your new duty station.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like where to find the best coffee shops, the most family-friendly parks, or even the hidden local gems that only the locals know about.
Exactly. It's like having a personal concierge service for your PCS move.
Okay, so we've talked about the practical side of PCS planning,
Mm-hmm.
the paperwork, the logistics, the research.
Yeah.
But what about the mindset?
Okay.
How do we approach a PCS with a positive attitude, even when it feels overwhelming?
That's a great question. I think it starts with remembering your why.
Okay,
Why did you choose this life?
right.
Why are you willing to make these sacrifices?
For me, it's about serving my country alongside my spouse and knowing that we're part of something bigger than ourselves.
And for some, it's about the adventure, the travel, the chance to experience different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever your why is, it's important to keep it front and center during those challenging moments.
Absolutely. And remember, every PCS move, no matter how daunting it may seem, is an opportunity for growth.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a chance to learn new things, meet new people, and step outside of your comfort zone.
And who knows, you might even surprise yourself how resilient and adaptable you really are.
I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. Each PCS is a new chapter in our story.
And like any good story, there will be notes and downs, twists and turns. But ultimately, it's the journey that matters.
The experiences we gather along the way,
The memories we make,
the friendships we forge.
and the homes we create wherever the military sends us.
Well said. And, speaking of homes, this blog post from MustWants does a fantastic job of breaking down the entire home finding process,
Yeah.
from initial research to actually settling in.
It's like a roadmap for navigating one of the most stressful aspects of a PCS move.
And with their user-friendly platform, their network of vetted real estate professionals, and their wealth of resources for military families, MustWants makes that journey a whole lot smoother.
I completely agree. They've really thought of everything to make this process as painless as possible.
And you know what else I appreciate about MustWants?
What's that?
Their commitment to data privacy.
Oh, that's so important these days.
Uh,
It's reassuring to know that our personal information is safe and secure.
Exactly. They don't sell your data to third parties, which is a huge relief.
It shows that they truly prioritize the needs and concerns of military families.
And it goes back to their mission of providing support and peace of mind throughout the entire PCS process.
So for any military spouse out there feeling overwhelmed by the thought of their next move, remember that you're not alone.
MustWants is there to help you every step of the way.
From finding the perfect home to connecting with your new community.
They've got you covered.
And here's a final thought for you to ponder.
I love these.
Okay, I'm ready.
Think about each PCS move as an opportunity not just to find a new house, but to find a new version of yourself.
Ooh, I like that. What do you mean?
Well, it's easy to get caught up in the routine,
Right.
of packing, unpacking, settling in.
Right.
But what if we saw each move as a chance to reinvent ourselves, to try new things, to step outside of our comfort zones?
I've never thought about it that way before. It's like a fresh start,
It
a
is.
blank canvas.
Exactly. Maybe this is the PCS where you finally take that photography class
Yeah.
or learn a new language, or maybe it's the move where you finally let go of that old version of yourself and embrace who you're meant to be.
I love that idea. It's so empowering.
It is, and it's a reminder that even though PCS moves can be challenging, they can also be incredibly transformative.
They push us to grow,
Yeah.
to adapt, to become more resilient.
And ultimately, they help us discover hidden strengths and passions we never knew we had.
So as you're planning your next PCS move, don't just focus on the logistics.
Right.
Remember to embrace the adventure, the opportunity for growth, and the chance to rediscover yourself.
And remember, MustWants is there to support you every step of the way.
From finding your dream home to connecting with your new community, they've got all the resources you need to make this move a success.
So take a deep breath, embrace the unknown, and get ready for an incredible new chapter.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into PCS planning with MustWants.
And remember, you can find all the resources we discussed on their website, mustwants.com, or by downloading their app.
Thanks for listening and happy moving.